Welcome to day number 2 of creating closeness. Showing ourselves. What is that about? Well, we said yesterday that part of being close to someone, of feeling close to someone, is feeling seen by that person. And I know we all have this longing to meet that special person who can guess what we are about, can guess where we are, what we feel. That person who is completely empathetic and tuned in to ourselves. We all have that longing. And yet, in my experience, to have the expectation to meet that person is kind of unrealistic. There are really few people on this planet who can do that. And I'm not sure they are the perfect persons for us. I find it much more empowering and more fun to help people to get in tune with us. And we do that by showing ourselves. Now, how do we do that? Well, we can show ourselves by sharing what we think. You know, telling stories of he did that, she said that, or expressing opinions like that resort is all awesome and that car is just awful. But that doesn't go too far in terms of connection, because it doesn't go deep enough inside of us. It's small talk, maybe good small talk, but it doesn't even make for an interesting conversation. It doesn't touch the other. What touches the other is when we move into sharing what we feel. So what we discovered on day 1, we start now sharing it with someone else. Saying, you know, that I feel excited, I feel enthusiastic, I feel fulfilled, or I feel insecure, I feel a little bit frustrated. And the reason this creates connection is because, you know, when I say I feel excited, I feel this tingling going up my body. There is a happening in me. And when the other person hears that, guess what? The same thing happens in him or her. A similar thing, similar tingling comes up, because they also know what it feels to be excited. So at the same time, 2 people feeling the same thing, I call that connection. Now, I know that not for all of us is easy to make this shift in our conversations from facts and opinions towards more feeling. I mean, in our society, being precise and giving your opinion is highly valued. So we were trained a little bit like that. But we can untrain ourselves. And for that, I have a new exercise for you. The exercise number 2. Just think about a friend or a partner or that specific person you want to get closer to. And think about the topics that you usually discuss with that person. Is it sports? Is it music, movies? Is it what you've been doing during the day? It doesn't really matter. What really matters is make a conscious shift that next time when you have a talk with that person, you talk about the same things, but bring in more of this feeling juicy stuff. nothing we talk about can really be talked in feelings. You know, I can say I listen to Michael Hutchins. I do. I really like that. But it doesn't touch too much the other person. But if I go a little bit deeper and I look at what is it for me to listen to him? Well, when I listen to him, when I watch the videos, I just feel alive. I feel all sensual and this wave of energy flowing through my body. I just want to jump up and start dancing. Now that's different. I bet you also felt a little bit of that. We really touch something in the other person when we talk about feelings. Or if someone asks me, how are you? How have you been today? I could say, you know, I woke up, I had breakfast, I went to the dentist. That's what I did. But the deeper reality of this is that, you know, I woke up quite worried. I had this pain in my tooth and I was afraid I'm going to lose my tooth. And I went to the dentist and he did his magic and I got the good news. I'm not going to lose my tooth. I felt so relieved. I came back home so energized to do things. That's a different way of telling the same story. And I bet you feel the difference, right? So, yes, this is the exercise. Just go to that person and see how much of yourself, of your true self, you can bring in that conversation. And I would love to hear how that went for you. You know, how you felt, how the other person reacted. You can share your discoveries in the comments. You can send me messages privately, however feels comfortable for you. I will get back to you. Thank you so much for watching and see you on day 3. We saw on the first day that before we even contact someone for connection, we need to be connected to ourselves, to know where we are, to know what we feel. And I was proposing to you an exercise by which we go throughout the day and every now and then we check in with ourselves. How am I feeling? I'm curious, how did that go for you? How was that? I know that for me, when I first did it, I just felt a little bit different. I felt a bit more alive. I felt more intimate with myself and a little bit truer to myself. I noticed that when I move from the thoughts to the feelings, it's almost like peeling a layer and going a little bit deeper and finding a more authentic part in myself. And I find that loving this part is really supporting us moving closer to people. And we really need to love this part. And you know, I was saying yesterday that in order to come closer to people, we need to change the way that we are, the way that we act. I didn't mean by that we need to become someone else than we are. Actually, what I meant is becoming more ourselves, becoming more this authentic part, this truer part.